welcome back to part 3. I apologize for such a long delay. I went on a trip for a month, worked 3 jobs, and then the holidays. Whoa. So it's been busy. Anyway, let's finally get into the last part. For a quick recap on what's happened, for those of you who don't remember, which is hopefully all of you, I hope that this doesn't live rent-free in your head for the rest of your life, like it will mine. In part 1 and 2, we met Fish, a fellow student at my college who told me I looked like his dead sister, who does not exist, asked me out, and did a myriad of other things, including, but not limited to, emotional manipulation, faked failed visits to visit his sister, and even a new girlfriend who at the end of part 2 he conveniently killed before we could meet. I've linked part 1 and 2 above since arguably, I know, part 3 is the most tame, which sounds kind of crazy. I guess for those of you who haven't seen part 1 and part 2, maybe you won't feel the same, but we'll see. So at this point, I'm inclined to believe that just like his sister, Moon, his girlfriend, does not exist. As awful as that sounds, the way she passed away and his grieving just does not seem right. He spends very little time grieving, so I'm not quite sure if he just didn't act that very well or he just didn't care. Who knows? I tried my best to comfort him and explain to him that it's not his fault that Moon would rather hang out with his sister, who's dead, and not him. But he didn't take it well, and he basically told me that everyone around him dies and he doesn't deserve to have friends because they all die and anyone who gets close to him dies. I'm not dead. We were friends and I lived to tell the tale, you know? So we're at school now and we met up and had a little birthday thing for me because my birthday is right at the beginning of school, so why not, right? All of them gave me joke cards like, congrats, you're turning 13, or you haven't aged a day, which honestly I thought was pretty funny because I wasn't expecting cards or gifts or anything, so it was really nice that they did something at all. We had cake, you know, all that kind of stuff. It was good. Fish gave me a $20 gift card to a store I really liked, and he was really agitated because he said that the cashier misheard him, and it was supposed to be $120, not $20. To be honest, like I said before, I wasn't expecting anything at all. So the fact that you got me a gift and even thought about the place that it was to, since it was a place I really liked, was already incredibly kind. It didn't matter how much the gift was for. It's the fact that you even chose a place that I liked in the first place and even thought to get me a gift. But remember, Fish is really rich and he really cares about his image. At one point, he had also even mentioned that Bagel, his ex-girlfriend, was using him for money and that she had dumped him after he took her on a $10,000 vacation across the border, which was not true. I don't know if he just didn't want me to think he was poor, or maybe he thought that I would have thought he was being cheap or that he hadn't given me enough because he said his net worth was like $2 million or something like that. But if that were really the case, why didn't he just ask the cashier to correct it instead of mumbling to me about how you were upset about the cashier mishearing you? Just a thought though, I don't know. I want to be clear that like I don't care that the gift card was for $20 and not $120 and that he should have went back and fixed it. It's just that if it was that big of a deal, I feel like you wouldn't have said anything and you would have just had the cashier correct it then so that you wouldn't have to tell your friend later. That's just me, though. Over the summer, I did roast him on FaceTime on numerous occasions on how he was part of the problem in his friendships, and that he needed to take a look at his behavior and not just others when they left. People don't just leave you because they're bad people. Usually they have a reason. Not everyone is just a bad person. He didn't take that very well, but he did say thank you for being honest and that he would work on it. But he never made any effort to actually change. So, you know, what can you do? Fast forward a little bit, and I was chatting with my friend, we'll call her Koala. Freshman year, we took a photo together, our very first Polaroid together, was her in her koala onesie and me in my fox onesie. Very cute photo. She offhandedly mentioned to me that Fish said that he and I slept together.
Oh my God, bro.
Oh, hell no, man. What the fuck?
I think my heart stopped. I mean, like, actually stopped. I think I died and came back. Remember earlier in part 2 when I mentioned my prior relationship and how he had told other people lies about me? And I said that that would be important later. It's later. Fish knew about that situation. And he also knew about my ex who held photos against me. He was there for that. And he wanted to help me. He even brought up that he had cybersecurity friends abroad that could help me. He knew I struggled with things of that nature, considering I've had multiple bad run-ins, and that the lies my ex told were a lot of wild stuff that wasn't true. And now, all of a sudden, I find out that he went and did the exact same thing with all of our friends.
I said I played these games before!
Seriously? So now I'm terrified that this entire friend group thought that I had slept with him.
Oh shit, here we go again.
Now, I realize that that doesn't sound like that big of a deal. Why would you be so afraid of something like that? But it's more so the fact that he lied to everyone about it. This is genuinely one of my biggest fears. People spreading a lie about me, and then other people believing the person who spread it over me. And it's happened before. So it's not just like a silly pipe dream, you know, like, oh my God, I'm so worried that someone's gonna do this. I have had it happen to me. I have lost many friends because of it. The first time it happened, I mean, obviously you can argue and be like, oh, then they weren't really your friends, you know, but still, it sucks. Like, you know, it sucks.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
So the fact that he knew that it had happened to me and that situation and decided to do it as well with something of the same nature made me feel physically sick. I can't really put into words the fear that I had when I found this out. I guess it's like when you know something bad is going to happen and your heart just drops into your stomach because you know it's going to happen and there's nothing you can do about it. So you just have to sit there through it because it had already happened. So all I could do is damage control, you know, and hope that people believed me. So I asked Koala about it to confirm, and she said that, yeah, it was something he said, but she hadn't thought much of it because she knew I didn't have feelings for him, was in a relationship at the time that he had said it happened, and also lived with me my first year. So she knew literally everything I did because we were also in one of the same friend groups that did things like all the time. I was always there with her. I wasn't quite sure what to do about this. Do I confront him? Do I just leave it and cut him off? Do I contact all my friends? I was kind of stuck because we shared a lot of friends as well. We were in some of the same friend groups, so it was kind of difficult to just say, hey, I don't want to be friends anymore. I just didn't want to make an awkward situation for other people. I didn't want to feel like they needed to choose between him or I, because that would be really rude. I didn't expect anyone else to cut him off for something like this because it's between him and I, you know. I was pretty afraid, like I said, not because of Fish, but because I was worried my friends would believe him and not me. So I decided to message 3 or 4 people that we both knew to confirm whether or not he had said it or if they had heard it. And unfortunately, every single one of them had. Great. Why does everyone know except for me? What? Phew. Yeah, no horror movie can replicate that fear. Yikes. Oh, I gathered up my receipts and I decided to message Fish. Woohoo! I stomped into the kitchen of my apartment and I called my roommates out. Oh boy, this is gonna be fun. I texted him and I asked him if he had lied to others and said that we hooked up. And he said immediately. No, I would never say that. I mean, like, immediately too. And unfortunately, when my phone got wiped, I lost a lot of the messages, or I lost all of the messages that I had screenshotted. So I can't read you the full conversation, but I do have some of the other stuff. He asked me who had said it, and that no one who respected him would say that he ever said something like that. And then he asked me if a specific person said it, and not to trust them because they had a grudge against him or something or another, which is hilarious, because I would totally trust that other person over him. The other person was someone who was also in my first year dorm, who I was also friends with. Of course I would trust that person over him. So it's actually really funny that he said that. I gotta be honest, when he said that no one who respects him would say that, I laughed. Because none of our friends respect him anymore because of this situation. After they learned that it was a lie. No one who respects him would say that. You're right, they don't, and neither do I. You are lying through your teeth to my face, and you think I respect you? I shot back that I had multiple people confirming that it was something he said.
It was at this moment he knew. He fucked up.
And he followed up, apologizing, saying that he was drunk or high when he said it, blah, blah, blah. So he did say it.
Gotcha, bitch!
And I'll read you the full apology, but we're not there yet. And he said it was a mistake. And when I asked him, how on earth is lying about something like that a mistake? He said that it was because of past relationships and friendships where he couldn't trust them, so he came up with a strategy to weed out the people that he couldn't trust by making up a crazy lie and then telling just a few people, and then if the lie got out, he would know that they weren't trustworthy. His lie just happened to involve me, and it just happened to center around a topic that he knew I had issues with. Huh, how convenient. Right? Alright! It's time to read his full apology. You guys aren't ready for this. I wasn't ready for it. I told him that we could not be friends anymore. And I was honestly kind of grateful that this happened because I felt like I was stuck in our friendship and I wasn't sure how to get out because he kept being so emotionally unstable. And I didn't feel comfortable leaving necessarily because I knew that he was struggling with thoughts of wanting to go see his sister and things like that. Not that I can vouch for how true those are. He sent me a message and he said, "Hey, I would like to talk at some point about where we stand and what happens next. I understand you need some time, but I think it's important. I've done some stupid stuff and I've made mistakes when I'm not in a sound mental state. And I think I've gotten a lot better at that over time. This is a learning experience for me, obviously. And to be honest, it has been since shortly after I made that poor decision. Yeah, I hope so. I don't want you to feel like I'm guilt-tripping you or anything, but it's obvious I've lost some people close to me because they were bad human beings, like Bagel. She's not, by the way. Or simply because of things I can't control, like Moon, which apparently it was something he could control because he said he was the one who killed her. Or that one fiancé that I mentioned in part 1. I've made mistakes, sure, but I don't want to lose you as a friend over them. But ultimately, if it comes down to that, then that's your decision. And naturally I'd be upset, but it's something I completely respect either way. Just wanted to give you my thoughts on it since I've had time to myself to think and reflect. Have a good night, Baggy." This was not the apology. This is what he sent to me. Gosh, I can't remember whether this was before or after. But I responded and I just said, "No, I don't want to talk. We're not friends anymore. There's nothing we can discuss. There's nothing that will make up for this or change this. I'll never see you the same again. It was, you made your bed, now lie in it." Alright, on to the apology. Buckle up, this one's long. He said, "It was over this summer. That's when it originally happened. And I wasn't drunk, I was high. But to be honest, me not apologizing right away was because I was scared of this exact thing happening." Wow, this wouldn't have happened if you had just apologized right away. I thought I could just let my past mistake disappear because it really was just a one-time thing with a select few people. I know I messed up and abused your trust just so I could somehow validate my own paranoia in regards to the people around me. It was a seriously messed up thing to do, and I deeply regret it. Yeah, I hope you do. I really hope you do. All in all, I understand that you'd like to end this friendship, and while I wish it didn't have to be that way, I do respect it. I just want you to know that outside of this bad situation, I've never been dishonest to you. That's a lie. And I really do care about you, and hope my stupid decisions and messed up way of undermining people's reliability didn't taint what good memories we did create as a group. This actually, no, it didn't. We did make a lot of good memories as a group, and I am very grateful for my friends and the good times that we did make. So he said, I know it doesn't mean much, but I swear to you it was nothing more than a messed up paranoia test of people I felt were getting too close to me too fast. Yeah, maybe, but like, why would you choose that kind of lie? I guess it's because he had a crush on me, but come on, man, you knew all the other stuff too. Like, why would you do that? He continued, I can't defend my actions, and I can't pretend like they're okay, because they're not. I should have thought about it before just going along with it, but I didn't, and that awful mistake has cost me a very valuable friendship and a fantastic person. I do wish you all the best in your future, because I know you're going to do great things. If this really is goodbye, then just know I am deeply and truly sorry, more than I could possibly even verbalize to you or to anyone. This has been an experience I've been treating as a valuable lesson for a few days now, and I know I will continue to do so and grow to be a better person. I hope you don't think I'm a bad person, because I never meant to hurt you or those that I involved in this. I do care about you and hope that the rest of your college career and the years thereafter treat you well. To be honest, I do think he's a bad person. Specifically because of the content of the lie he made up. And knowing my situation to make up a lie of that nature specifically is just vile. I'll remove you from the Discord server and refrain from contacting you. But if you should ever feel like there's some reason to talk again, whatever it may be, I'll be here. I'm so sorry. I really, really am. I'm not just saying that to try and get you to change your mind about ending this friendship either. Because that's not the type of person I am. Heck, even doing this in the first place isn't the type of person I am, and I'm severely disappointed in myself for forgetting who I truly am. Forgetting the things I stand for, and for forgetting the people that matter to me. You were someone that was there for me when no one else was. You cared about me and taught me things about myself that no one else could. And even when it hurt and there were rough patches, at the end of the day, you were looking out for me and my development as a person. So thank you for everything. I mean it. I truly hope I haven't shaken you up too much. I hope I haven't shaken you up too much. It's like if you put me in a blender and put it on the highest setting. Yeah. But I'm extremely sorry nonetheless. Just know that I cleared things up with those I told. I came clean about the entire situation and told them you had nothing to do with any of it. Yeah, the clearing up was him sending a copy-paste apology to all of our friends. I'll see if I can find it. I think I asked a few people I knew that got it to see if they still had it. Because it was crazy. It was actually a crazy copy-paste apology to send to people. And it's wild that you would send it copy-paste. You know, like you'd think you'd change it up. But instead you sent it like a mass chain email, which tells me that you don't actually care. It's like if you don't send this to 10 people, like your parents are gonna die tomorrow, you know? It's one of those. I'm lucky enough to only be losing one friend when I easily could have lost more. Even though losing you isn't something I had hoped for or thought about when making these types of decisions. Yeah, you might want to think about that in the future. I'm sorry for the pain and anxiety I caused you. I hope you can escape from this experience as the strong and amazing person I know you to be. Have a good night and a great rest of the semester. Goodbye, Baggy. And I responded with, thank you. You too. And then he said, one last thing. I apologize for the amount of people I'm sure will come to you and ask you why you and I aren't friends anymore. For those that asked me, I simply said it's not worth discussing and that we just felt it was healthier for the both of us to end the friendship. But it's evident that some people won't be satisfied without some type of story. I personally don't think it's worth giving to them, and not just because it makes me look like a bad person, but because it's truly not something I want to keep coming up for both our sakes. All right, that's all. Good night. And I said, for both our sakes? It doesn't hurt me because it's not true. And I don't have the screenshot of what he said next, but he lost it. I mean, lost it. He sent me another 2 long paragraphs about how he was such a horrible person and he didn't deserve any friends and he didn't deserve to be happy and that he wasn't trying to throw a pity party, but that he, yeah, just all kinds of stuff. It was crazy. I don't have that screenshotted, unfortunately, but what can you do? Yeah, sadly, this doesn't really have like a happy ending, so to speak, other than the fact that I still have most of my friends. None of them believed him, thankfully, over me. And that I'm okay. I take that back. I actually have quite a few problems with the name, Fish's name. Like anytime I see it, I'm like, dang. And I get jump scared. Which is like kind of silly because there's nothing to be afraid of. But I guess that's just how you react when you have a bad experience with someone. And that's okay. That's just what happens. Yeah, that concludes the Fish story, really. Lately he has viewed my LinkedIn profile, which I was a jump scare and a half. I was like, why are you looking at my LinkedIn profile? I haven't talked to you in like 2 or 3 years. Like, leave me alone. But maybe it was just an accident. He was trying to hover over my name and clicked on me. Who knows? Or maybe he's just trying to see if I'm doing well or trying to compare to see if he's doing better than me. Who knows? Honestly, I hope he's a better person now. That's really all I can say. And I hope that he's made friends that he can rely on and doesn't have to pretend that he can trust. That's all for now.